Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 8 and Third Reich events. We're going to continue this fun game. No fuel. No fuel. Not that much fuel. Heavy AA guns increased to 3. Mentioning heavy AA guns, let's go to cruisers. And let's increase medium anti-aircraft guns. Technology. Let's maybe... We'll buy one fuel if you'll sell it to us, yes, because I don't want a big bunch of fuel, really. But I do want to improve our relations. Unit combined arms advanced. Bulgaria. No. Like I just did, because I'm trying to... via trade. And Romania. If you want to sell fuel. No. Okay, you remember we sent the Schleswig Holstein off in a previous episode on a round the Caribbean cruise to promote up Germany, just generally speaking. When they were there, they'd often have promote up German goods and other things in conjunction with its visit. Well, on its way back, it visits Falmouth. Falmouth is right in. Right in here. Boy, I don't know why they don't named it something Exeter or something, but I thought it was right here. Harbor, one of the British naval harbors at the time, nothing like Plymouth or other docks up there. And they play a football match with one of the local, the Duke of Cornwall's light infantry. Football match, so interesting thing, I thought. In fact, I don't know which, they're intermixed, I don't know which colors or which team, but so it visited port visit with Britain. Doesn't really help our relations with Britain overall. Football match now. Showing up with an out-of-date battleship doesn't impress the British. Might impress the Haitians or the Dominican Republic or somebody that, hey, yeah, that's a ship that if they were enemies us, they could come and pulverize our harbors, sink any boats that we have, or if it was going to come to help us out, it could do it to our local enemies, you know. But Britain's not impressed. Okay. So we have auxiliary fuel tanks to increase range there for these. Armor plating. Let's do cruise short bombardment. We were lucky with that one tech. That one tech is, in my opinion, making steel was making it worth all of the limited that we're putting into tech stealing. Okay, no. No, but again, we'll go to Japan and see if they want to sell us one fuel. How's our... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We've been doing a lot of small long-distance trades. No, we don't want to do that. Yeah, 4. Start production. Kick them to the top. And we're getting too much into the battleships here. Let's do 2 escorts, which we'll need even though we're not planning on long range. Things okay. One of these. Let's do another armored division. Motorized infantry attachment. We're going to make this a fairly good one. Medium artillery. Armored car. I guess I just feel like spending at the moment. Engineers. And truck transport. We're going to use... And let's see, how are we doing on submarines? They're about halfway done and they're about ready to hit. Okay. Start producing some regular submarines. Right. Oh, wait a minute, what's this tech here? Aircraft carrier engines. Okay. Yeah, switch over damage control. For engine airframe research is completed. Switch that over there. What's this then? Artillery flexibility. Just looking for Okay, now that's doing good. We're at 38. We want to keep pushing. Increases speed. So that's good. Pushing it into. Okay, we have now a lot of upgrades happening. Okay, Karl Hermann Frank, a rather odious person, is promoted to SS Gruppenführer and appointed Secretary of State of the Reich Protectorate of Bohemia and Moravia under Reich Protector Konstantin von Neurath. Or also named him Protectorate Higher SS and Police Leader. So he's got really good promotions. Currently I have him in charge of these Sudeten guys pressing the Czechs there in Prague. He was the hardliner of the Sudeten movement, where Konrad Henlein was, firmly a Nazi, but not quite as hardline. He continued these policies in Czechoslovakia. Okay, bomb techs. We've got cluster bombs there. With cargo holds. Okay, fairly well done. We're going to move over to aero engine research. Expand the air bases, yes. Build new industrial zone. Not this time, well, might as well. Yes, we want that. We're gonna keep just a little in the green here. Now we have a lot of supplies. We've run out of ships to properly transport everything we need, so hopefully these will get done sooner. And no, not donuts. Let's go down to the one of the Seventh Flieger Division, yes, let's stick them there. No, not Rommel. Great General, yes, but the way this game works, you may end up earning paratrooper traded someday, but not gonna start in the paratrooper division. We're going to add some motor torpedo boats to them eventually. I'm starting to. He's good for this, but I guess something a bit more tactical. No, doesn't look like it, so yeah. The AI got it right this time. Just give him not to the Ost, but I'll give him the bomber. Turn this. Oh, there it is. Just missed it somehow. I'm leaving these in the production queue because I may be moving them over land. So deploying them somewhere else. Semi-motor divisions. You're going to go to your historic Ghost division. Not the Air Force guy either. Not Modal. Modal's going to get a higher command. We'll just start organizing that up. There we go. We're doing well there. Okay, IG Farben, IG Farben, Rotwell. Should the Reich expand IG Farben and the chemical plant at Rotwell? We can increase industrial capacity, basically buy one if we want, or no need. This is one of the major plants that we can improve. And it did a lot of, as you see, oil to conversion type developmental work. So yes, we're going to do that. Launch torpedoes somehow. One right here. Okay, we're mostly all caught up. I mean, these we could, but not at the moment. I need a single helicopter. And the Soviets, we give them money for crude. No, thank you. Italy, what do you want? Also money for crude. A little bit of money for crude, but you're already in the Axis. Mobile unit combined arms training has improved. And we will switch that to direct fire unit. And we have stolen Japanese blueprints for the CAG bomber. No, that would be here. Well, good. If we ever build any of these, which we plan on it, that'll help. Not we don't have torpedo bomber really, but we can do bombing and The reason these are done this way instead of actually building the various subtypes, and I know the Black Ice team and many other people would do, the AI only sees certain types of aircraft. And it sees interceptors, it sees fighter bombers, knows what those are, knows what close support is, knows what the basic transport is, knows what all the basic types are. But any additional types that have been added that aren't in the base game, it sees them only as bombers and will use them only as bombers. So you can add like light bombers or something like that and put them into the AI, and the AI will use them as bombers, even though it, you know, won't see it. If you give them a new type of ship killing attack aircraft, it will see them as bombers and will use them as bombers. Maybe bombing ships, but just about as likely bombing land targets. Okay, well, we'll let them continue there. So if you did specialty CAG types, they just see them as bombers and never have them on ships. They're already having a hard enough time replacing losses for ships. Somewhere between rarely to non-existent. That's one of the reasons they get overpowered is because the AI, if it loses its carrier units, it won't, even if you give them, won't build new, and it won't it won't stick them to the carriers and just move. Okay, I believe this is one of the I'm not sure, but I think this is a of Alexi's new units of the Third Reich. War is inevitable. We need forces capable of naval evasion. Should we form divisional staff forces? These are going to be the HQs. Yeah, this is as I thought, like they said. In 45, so these units, Marine divisions, were formed, and as you see there, and I've, you can look and see photos from Narvik that have people in naval uniforms with proper infantry gear, and I believe they didn't, the German army didn't show up with extra infantry gear, and they were using German infantry rifles and gear. And I don't believe they were just stripping the dead. I think most of the destroyers and other crews, like in many navies, have just the, basic helmet, basic rifle, basic cartridge pouches, just your most minimum basic equipment for basically every sailor on board a ship. That is, that's quite common to do in many navies. I'm not enough of a Kriegsmarine expert to know for sure, but I think a lot of their damaged and sunk ships, they had the ability to evacuate them enough to get the light infantry equipment off of them. Though some were sunk that, the guys were just immediate bailout. But some of the other ones, it's more like, oh, we're hit, we're sinking, we're going to be, sunk in 20 minutes at this rate or whatever. So they quickly empty the arms lockers. And then, like, as they obviously taught here, purposefully taking a lot of the naval personnel from various bases, training facilities, setting up for submarine training, ship's crews, and form them into this. This gives us 3,000, or we use 3,000 supplies, 6 manpower. Well, we're doing decent on the manpower. Is 40, 60 metal. That's okay. Yeah, we're doing pretty good on the supplies. So we'll do that. We'll just sort of see. Okay, cool. Look at the nice counters we got there. Those are cool. And I like them. Alexi, if you're watching, I really do like these. one of the things is that it is very clear what they are. I know this isn't a Panzer Division symbol. I don't, I know because partially from my experience, partially from working on Vowert's Panzers and making the, not the counters, but the event images that we included these. I learned those and sometimes know which divisions, but just generally know that, and they follow, many of them follow a standard pattern that I recognize as, armor. But these here are very clear. These would be the symbol showing that they're naval. So even so, if you get very inexperienced, you won't have to worry about seeing these symbols to know what the type of unit they are. You'll be able to do it, and it looks very German, very period, very nice. I don't know if the Germans would have done this at the time, because the naval anchor there, obviously from the uniforms, but I don't know. But it looks cool. I'm happy. Okay, what did we have happen here now? Okay, a bunch of infantry divisions. And I think other factories. Okay, so we've got most all of our factories is just Kiel is still in production here. Let's do some more expansion, but let's just take a quick look around. So I would like to build, well, I would like to build a few heavy industry factories in a few places. As you know, I like to build them along rivers. So I know rivers are a good additional transport means for the goods and materials. Build a couple of these here as well. So partly I'm doing this because I want to obviously increase our production capability. Partly because they're just so cheap. I mean, that's about half from what they cost originally. Now, these in production. A good division there. Those. I think we'll do another one of these. Let's do heavy bomber, heavy transport. It's getting a little better. So we're going to build another heavy bomber, just one. We're going to build one heavy transport. These have been so useful for me. I highly recommend them, even though they're extremely expensive here. I think they're worth the cost, so you'll have to protect them. Push those down. We will be obviously expanding our industrial base with invasions as well, which will mean, and we will be expanding our resource base as well. But I still want to expand German basic. We're going to do rockets as well. Oh gee, rather good optics. Maybe not, I don't know, they probably think they're very good. I think they're good at modern day Steiners. I have a, for binoculars, I have a, and that's all they do is binoculars. High opinion of, and some of the others, but they, OG does scopes and binoculars. So based in Berlin, this is just informational and improved optics for sniper warfare and tanks. Germans did that very well. Okay, historically based event. As you know, and if you played Black Ice, as Germany, you have the opportunity to sell aircraft for money and supplies and that kind of thing. This is a real historical event. The Swiss government, where we've been approached by the Swiss government to sell some BF-109s. This will get us some money, we'll lose some supplies, which basically equates to building the aircraft or whatever, and or not. Just so that you know, if you choose no, they buy some French models which aren't quite as good as aircraft, so either way they're getting aircraft, whether you want them to have German aircraft and improve relations. Yeah, Switzerland will work not to become in the Axis, so I know all these improved relations aren't going to work to get them into the Axis in the long run, but improved relations a little bit can, in that sort of floating zone that it will do, can make trades a little cheaper and that kind of thing. And we'll gain some money, so I'm going to go for it. Now you notice this is a picture of one of them. At least once the war started, these are red and white stripes with the white cross on the red field there. I don't know whether they had it on the top. I know they had it on the bottom of the wings. I think it's whether they had it on the top, I don't know. But I think that's primarily for well, probably for air-to-air fights and as well too, but heavily for the anti-aircraft gunners, so that Swiss anti-aircraft gunners wouldn't think that they were German planes coming in and decide to shoot them down accidentally. So they did that very bright, very uncamouflaged setup. Right now, I'm not concerned much more about the size of the army for the invasion of Poland. Maybe a little concerned for France and garrisoning in the east, size-wise. We do need to probably build up our mountain troops a little bit more and our light troops as well. I plan 1940 to be a very busy year. Okay, Jan Reiswak, I don't know. This is the continuation of the earlier Czech Nazi party, fascist party. You can see him speaking there, and there's a picture of him. The loon who started it, I believe by this time has died, and I call him a loon because he believed in mental telepathy and had wrote books on similar sorts of things. Since this event happens because we previously supported this group, so we're continuing our influence, and you'll see some events later on that are pretty significant based on that. Okay, submarine engines have advanced. That's great. I like the concept of this. I just keep flinching away because of that visibility minus. I normally find enough other ways to expand their range. So submarine engines as well as advanced. So let's look at escorts here. We're going to be running a lot of light, Schnellboat flotillas, torpedo boat flotillas, those types of things. Having better dealing with air is useful if they're attacked by the air. Okay, here we go, radar. So now we will do radar. Also for some of the smaller vessels. Actually, historically, I think it's sort of backwards. I think we were put a radar on the capital ships first because the units were so big and, clumsy, so that they couldn't necessarily fit them into the small vessels early on. But I may be wrong. I'm far from a naval expert on this. Okay, event sent in by George, contributed by George, 1941. Every year on Hitler's birthday, they had a military parade in Berlin. Nice big guns. These are the guns in the carriage. This was the gun, and you had the gun carriage part in another section. You moved them in two pieces and assembled them to shoot. Not that rapidly mobile of an artillery piece if you have to put it together before you shoot it. So, nice parade, cost us some supplies, do a little descent if we had any. Okay, our submarine holes have advanced. Okay, now this will allow eventually a lot of other higher tech submarine capabilities, fire control. Yeah, let's go for that. Okay, we've had a little coverage before of the German Telefunken, the German TV. This is an example of a German TV. You can see what it looked like. That's an original one from the time period. I think they're sitting a little close, but you can see relatively the screen size. And this is for like a home set. I don't know if they put them up in bars or anything. They did have larger viewing rooms, but this is you know, small, sort of personal. They weren't cheap. But you know, if you were, you know, had the money, you could get them and watch your daily in Berlin area, Greater Berlin, daily TV broadcast. And don't think it was anything like. Think of it sort of like what I'm doing as a channel, producing, you know, 2 hours of TV a day or something, and that's it. But you don't get to pick the time when you want to watch it. It's sort of when it's on, and it goes away. And so it wasn't a 24/7 kind of thing. But what this also does is, obviously it helps broadcasting stuff, but they, later in the war, they developed where they had a TV camera on a nose of a bomb or rocket, but a lot of times they were some bombs and some rockets. And the bombs were glide bombs. And they would launch them from aircraft, and then it would have a very fine long cable. And I think they also did basic transmission as well hooked to it, you know, non-cable, to fly them into ships. So early anti-shipping missiles, they were set up. That's why I decided to put into radio gains and a little bit into radar guided bombs, because some of them were sort of man-guided as well. All that technology does have a war application, more than just a propaganda application. Okay. Mining. Okay, great. This is the last. I think we just got enough steel here. Yeah. So we want this, because this will get us more. Open new mines. Yes, we want to do this. Cost us a lot of supplies, money, metal, but that's what we've been saving up for. And we now have the mining effect. -10 on manpower, which isn't good. -5 on ICs, which just ongoing use of industrial centers to, I presume, maybe not so much mine, but smelt, you know, the steel and those kind of things. But we'll get 10% greater crude, energy, metal, and rare materials. Oh, we also get a rare materials. Didn't think we'd. Oh, well, maybe they just. That's because when I thought I looked here, it didn't have it, but it's just down here, and it's not showing. Okay. So know that all. You also get 10% greater rare materials. Sorry about that. So we'll also get 10% rare materials, so that even more makes me want to, yes, do this. I'm not questioning at all, because so great. And what's this? Oh, claims on memo. Okay, so we've hit the date that we can do the memo thing. It will increase our threats on all. It will. We're gonna wait for a little bit, because well, how many ICs do we have here? Don't, at least one. And the coal, only one energy, but really don't care about Lithuania's relations with us. Unfortunately, if you were to get any one of these into the Axis, it basically means an early war with the Soviets. I think it should mean no Ribbentrop-Molotov Pact for sure. I'm totally on board with that. But I don't know whether it would have meant an earlier war had you got them as allies, but they're so weak anyways that they're not really worth it. I guess the only thing they'd be worth is starting positions for the German army along here as opposed to back here, and that might be worth it, but otherwise not really. Okay, landing craft flotillas advance, which increases the range to 300, or additionally 300 kilometers. You and your European metric systems. Okay. Speed addition is nice. Range addition is better. Includes the speed addition, so we're going with that. Okay. Some more units. Okay, well I think we're gonna end the session here. Thanks for viewing, thanks for liking the videos and posting comments. Appreciate it very much.